Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another exciting chapter of Descent into the Void, a tale of D20s, where six friends journey together to tell a story of mythic proportion.
Gather round, gather round. Let me tell you a tale of life and death, of joy and sorrow, a tale of D20s.
For today's session, Lewis, who plays Horatio Kane, will not be joining us as he has prior engagements, so I, as the Tale Weaver, will be following his commands in the Discord chat as he listens on, and will be playing his character. Thank you for understanding. So, without further ado, let's remove the bookmark and continue our epic tale. Last time, Liberators, you continued on your voyage to Beachbell, traveling to Thelos, the arcane capital, to assist Queen Camilla with the war that is beginning to brew in Shiverin. Doramo had reached back out to Horatio during your voyage, reminding him of their earlier conversation about the shards and the Corporus Arcana, and King divined with the heavens not once, but twice. The first time, asking if you can trust those around you, which you received a solid no, that someone may be acting against the Liberators. This sparked controversy in the group as fingers were pointed and suspicion aroused. Second is when King and Horatio combined energies to reach out to the Divine and receive an answer about the power of chaos. This warped the two arcane artists to a distant time, seeing how the Trias, Gaia, Eros, and Erebus ascended to godhood and walked through the gates of Eustacia. Erebus talked of using the power of chaos for strength, while Gaia demanded it be sealed and locked away. Before the scene could continue, Monaco burst into the room and broke the communion, ending the vision. Everyone then met together and an argument began that people chose sides. This began as King revealed that a bright light wound piercing from his chest had appeared. He had fell asleep and not awoken for hours, and his consciousness flowed into his mindscape, where he saw a beautiful image of the Forest Mother Mielikki appear before him. "My king to be crowned. We have much to discuss, and very little time." So, King, before you see Mielikki, the goddess that you praise and worship. Walking next to her, you see is a beautiful, shimmering Technicolor unicorn that she's petting as she has her bow and arrow on her back and her tail braided. I'm sure you have much questions.
My goddess, it is good to see you, and I hope I serve you well. And I take a deep bow and lower my head to her.
Please, there's no need. Lift your head, my king to be crowned. Come, walk with me. And she goes and puts her fingers beneath your chin and begins raising them up, so you are now looking face to face. She's a rather short goddess with a humanoid form, looking at you eye to eye. You're about the same height.
Okay. Since she put her hand on my chin and lifts me, I open my eyes and look, and the wobble of tears sort of fade away in relief, knowing that I am in her grace. And I'll stand and say, "Please let us grow together." And I'll follow her lead.
As she begins walking with the unicorn to her right and you standing by her left, the scene changes from this dark, cloudy mindscape into a beautiful forest. Each step you take, it seems to continue like a film reel. But you feel like you're entering a mystical forest, and it feels almost nostalgic. But as the scene continues, she continues walking, not looking back at you, but ahead. I had hoped this would not come to pass. This was not the path that I had chosen for you, but it is the path that destiny has put forth. You are changing, but I'm afraid you may not approve of the outcome.
I do not know what you mean. If this change brings upon a greater connection and the salvation of my kin, I think of Duran, and I think of Cal and Horatio and Monaco, and I start to tear up a little bit.
She stops walking and turns and looks at you, and there's a little bit of tears flowing from her eyes as well. Yes, your friends. I can feel your love for them. It is great, but I'm afraid if we continue down this path, you may lose them forever.
I just need a little more time. I just need more time with them. I'll gladly accept your embrace. Just, I have to save them and see their wishes through, and make sure my family is safe. Isn't that why you chose me all those many years ago?
She continues walking. I have to tell you a story, my king. A story of something that happened long ago, and the reason why you can see me, why you have your abilities, and why you fell into that sickness slumber all those many years ago.
I just look like I'm 100% at her attention.
Okay. Eons ago, the world was not as you know it. There was no void, no darkness, no chaos stripping through the land. There was just a world full of wonder and splendor. Elves, gnomes, tieflings, half-elves, everyone living together. The Arakrakans to the north. But then it all broke apart when 3 powerful wizards walked through the gates of Eustacia and brought down the old gods. You see, she sighs as she continued walking.
Were those the visions you were sending me? Those were the people we saw?
Yes.
Gaia? Erebos?
Yes, Gaia, Erebus, and Eros, the Trias. There is a dark power, a realm known as the Chaos Realm, the Abyss. We're constantly at war with it. As the gods, we bring order, and then through that order is the magic that you all mortals are able to use. But there is dark magic, chaos magic, that comes from the Abyss, and we are constantly fighting it.
Is it all bad? Always?
Yes, no good can come from chaos. It strips away everything, your mind, your soul. But in any case, it attacked the world, and the mortals grew impatient and sought to gain divinity on their own, and walked through the gates of Eustacia and brought down the Prolefsi, us old gods. With their new powers, they used it to grow their numbers.
Did they not understand what they were doing? Why would
No.
they do such terrible things?
Because us Prolefsi drew a blind eye towards the mortals, didn't see how much our battle with chaos was infecting them as well. They grew into power. Once we were overthrown, throughout our battle, it grew. The chaos of 2 gods fighting shattered the world, forming it into the perversion you see before you. I and Nyx, one of the Aegis, combined our powers, sought to see through this battle, this pride we had, and grant the mortals the power to defeat the chaos. And in doing so, something went awry, and I lost my physical form. Drifting for countless ages, I floated into the ether until I found you. You were strong enough to hold my seed. Yes, you went through a sickness, a pain, but you fought through it, and therefore became my champion, until one day I would arise again, forever taking your form. And at that, she kind of just takes a long pause and stops moving, turns around, looks at you, and tears start flowing down her face.
Mielikki, I give myself to you willingly, just not yet. How can we delay this? There's things that I must see through to the end. I do not wish to blanket you or hold you within me. And as you know, I wish to share your love and spread your growth and life throughout the lands. Is that why you not made sure I found the Heaven's Root seeds? I have more things to do.
Oh, my king to be crowned. She walks up to you, placing her hands on your shoulders. You think that was all me? Your power itself is divine. I am with you. I am you, as you are me. You divined your own future. You pull the power of the seeds yourself. As you perform your miracles, my consciousness grew and grew inside you, and I witnessed the power that you wield. My power, our power. But for truly to be released, for you to truly give yourself to me, all of you will be lost. All of me will be lost, and we will become something new. But do you have to let everyone go? They are not on the path that you are on. Every time you use your power, and she opens up the area of your chest, revealing the dimly lit, scarred over wound that the light was coming from. Every time you use the power of the Goddess Mielikki, you bring yourself further and further to that destiny until you are no more. We are no more. And she closes it again.
So I do have time. I just have to be smart, wise, and cautious, as a true king would be. I thought I knew the answer to these questions, and that I always would fully embrace and accept you immediately. And I feel ashamed right now that I'm not, because of my attachments to the people, to the person I love. And I can't say yes to you right now, but I can say yes to you. And I want to be the thing, the divine that this world needs, and heal the crack in this world and reality, but not at the expense and the heartbreaks of others. I have to know that they'll be okay. My family, my friends, everyone. I have to see through what I have started. And once I feel like everything is safe and things have been healed, then I will plant the final seed of the new tree of life we will grow.
So be it.
I looked down a little ashamed that I basically said no to my god after spending countless years completely devoted.
She seems to feel empathetic and lifts up your head once again. My king to be crowned. You have a destiny, and you are shaping it yourself. You are divine. You are meant to lead the people of the forest, all people of the forest, and join them together as their beacon of hope, as their deity. Be strong and trust your instincts. You will wear the crown, and you will be king. And she gives you a kiss on the forehead, and she starts to fade away, and the entire image of the forest fades away.
Wait, just sit with me for another minute.
Be strong, my king. She kind of turns into dust, and her voice echoes and fades away. All that's left there within the mindscape darkness is the unicorn that she was brushing up against, the technical unicorn, and it stays with you and nuzzles with you in the darkness.
I grab onto this unicorn and I think to myself, I'm not crying because I'm sad, I'm crying because I'm so happy, and I'm just sort of reliving the moment that happened and thanking her she's given me a chance. I can do it. I'm gonna survive. We're gonna make it and defeat him, and we'll find a place in the future. I know I can. No, we all can.
Alright. Back into reality, the rest of you for this time being, you've been going in and out, each of you checking up on King, making sure he's alright. Throughout the hours that you've been doing this, you have noticed that he has a fever, and it's getting pretty bad, yet he is not gaining consciousness.
I'd just like to say, Tailweaver, that Duran would not leave that room until King comes to.
Alright, and then so you will be the first to notice that he's starting to sweat, and he's getting hot to the touch as you've been changing, his water and whatnot, rags. He's definitely getting a lot hotter, very feverish.
Someone, Duran is gonna try to get help to tend to King. His fever is getting worse. Can someone please help?
Minako's not too far off in the kitchen. She runs out, abandoning the thing she was preparing, and says, where is he? Let me help, please. And then she follows Duran up to King's bedside and uses prestidigitation on a bit of cloth to make it cool, and just puts it on his forehead, and just will sit by him and keep it cold by every couple of seconds, just recolding it, and then sitting for a little bit, staying there with Duran.
Okay. I will say time passes, King does not awaken, and he gets worse over time until he reaches a point where you're constantly tending to him, keeping him cool. His body temperature is raising, and that day continues on, and he does not awaken. And for the most part, I would say for the next few days during your travel, he stays asleep this entire time. There are no issues on the sea that comes up. Horatio is at the helm, guiding you guys to your destination of Beach Bell. Is there anything you all wish to do before we move on to the next part, which is where you see Beach Bell on the horizon?
How many days does it take us?
It takes you about 3 days.
Since he had developed the fever?
Yes.
Okay. She just stays by his side and makes sure that his head as cool as she can. But she just takes the exhaustion from not sleeping to help. Feeling terribly guilty about everything.
Please, Minako, there's no reason for you to push yourself. I will stay awake with King and make sure that his fever is dealt with. I thank you so much, Minako. You don't need to push yourself this hard.
No, you don't understand. I need to stay.
I understand more than anyone what it means to care so deeply about King. Monako, King would not want to see you in pain. Let me tend to him. Rest. Rest, tiny Monako.
All right. I'll make a small bath. You can use this cold water. It'll take me a couple minutes, but it should last the night. I'll get me as soon if anything happens. Thank you, Duran. She gives one final look over at King, kind of like with this really guilt-ridden face before going back. And then I imagine the next couple nights go like that.
Indeed. So you spend the next couple nights of resting, not resting, and worry over King as he doesn't awaken. You try to feed him and clean him as best as you can and change his rags and such, but he does not awaken at all. And it's kind of a solemn few days trip. Cal, during this trip, other than having I'm going to say guilt, but dealing with the situation with King and everything, the only thing that piques your mind that comes up is the makeshift of the cannons here that control the weaponry of this ship. It is oddly similar to how the energy of how you use your gun works as well. And Horatio walks up to you at this point, reading over his notes, and says, Cal, I've been reading over how the ship's cannons work, and from when you were describing before how your guns work with Kalimvor, it's oddly similar.
Yeah, I've been giving it some more thought myself. Do you want to know something that, after looking at some of your notes and really going through this manual, I didn't want to believe it at first, but my adoptive father is the one who built these things. He gave this to the Queen of Shiver. I don't think it's a coincidence that my guns work exactly like this.
Horatio turns over to you and says, Your father, what? So you have a connection with Queen Camilla then?
It seems I do, although he would have never, he never told me about it. He told me of his old adventuring days, but that was a long time ago, and he decided to stay in Fia, and a lot of his friends spread all around the entire plane of Frostmoor, but I never thought I would either see anything that was a part of their history or become part of my own outside of these revolvers.
He turns to you and says, well, if you want to look over my notes and see if you could figure anything out, I'm sure we can put our heads together. I mean, sounds like your father was a really important man, especially if he was able to build this.
Yeah, it seems that he was more than just an old tinkerer. Seems like he was quite a weaponsmith. I thought he just bought these pistols and had them enchanted. I didn't know that he did the enchanting.
What happened to your father?
My biological parents I never met, but Galilia was as much of a father as any and more. It was when I was young, he was abducted and was being held for ransom. I took it upon myself, stupid as it was, to try and get him back, and I fought with a Darrow using the Darrow wanted the revolvers. I don't know what for, but we fought the revolvers in our hand, and in the action and fight that ensued, the revolver went off, and when the dust settled, he was gone. A bullet had pierced his heart as he was tied up, helpless, and I was unable to help him. It was the first time Kalimvor actually spoke to me, pushing me forward when the only thing I had in my life was taken away from me. And I guess the gods are on my side, because here I stand in this ship that he helped build.
Wow.
It's funny.
It is. All of this, everything seems to be just not a coincidence. Everything that's happening with King, everything that's happening in Duskhaven, all of it just can't be a coincidence.
Absolutely not. Being here on this ship, it makes me want to help the Queen that much more. Because if that's something that he would have done, it's something I should probably be doing too. Just like you're chasing after your parents, your mother. I feel like this is something I have to do now too.
Well, it's getting pretty late. I'm just going to just do a couple more studies and head to bed.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna check on King.
Yeah, and he goes up towards the helm and fixates it like he did before. We're heading downstairs into his room. So, Cows, you walk downstairs and check on King, Monako, and Duran are in there, and you learn everything that they learned about his fever getting bad over time, and he's not doing any better.
I want to try and pray over King, and as I kneel next to I'm guessing he's like kind of in like a bed that's like pretty low since we're on like a ship, space is limited. I'm kneeling with my hands touching the side of his body, almost as if I was trying to like use my lay on hands ability, but I'm not going to actually use the ability itself, but the same approach in prayer as a paladin to Kalimvor. And I just want to say, Kalimvor, you have always guided me in which way to keep the scales in my favor and in your favor. King has been a very big part of that, and it's not a coincidence that the decisions that you've helped to steer have put me here with this group. Help me find whatever it has to be to put these scales in King's favor. If what you need me to be doing is so important, then King has to be a part of that too, because we're all fighting day in and day out for the same things. I pray that you can use your infinite knowledge of the underworld to keep King out of it. And then Cal will kind of like raise his head and look over at Duran. There's been nothing but the fever. Has it broke at all?
Duran solemnly shakes his head, but he will get better. He has to.
You're right.
King, please come back to us. Monako just like whispers almost like a prayer.
And as you look over King and pray over him, and join in solace over your friend who is not doing well in front of you, this passes on over the days. And the next day passes, and then the next day passes, until Horatio, in the middle of the daytime, it's around 9 a.m., shouts down to all of you, "I see land ahead! I think we've made it to Beach Bell."
Duran, let me go and help get Horatio to the dock.
Of course, Cal. I will be here, as I have been for the days, and I will stay here until King comes home.
What are we supposed to do? How can we leave him? We're just going to carry him and then go to a tavern or something?
Absolutely not. But maybe we can find a healer. Someone who also prays to Mielikki. Thelos is extremely arcane, and if there's a way to get King back up on his feet, we'll find it. I'll be back.
After Cal leaves, Duran is gonna kind of take a knee, and in the fashion that he's seen King and Cal do before, in the way that they beseech and communicate with their gods, Duran is going to kneel next to King, and he's going to focus his prayers through the new earring to King, and a brain message. I've never been able to ask for something I was not ready to fight for, and I do not know how to pray to a god, but all I can do is I can beg of you, King. I wanted to create a home for my people, for the Valkyrie, a way for us to survive without having to destroy and live in a way where we destroyed the humans that could not live in peace with each other. But when I traveled with you, I found myself at home. I found myself at home in your arms, King. I felt for the first time that I didn't have to be strong, because I could rely on you, King. King, I have seen perform miracle after miracle, melt cold hearts and pull the power of the gods themselves into your hands. King, you can do anything. So King, please, come home to the ones who love you. Come home to me who loves you, King. Come home so I can be strong again. Strong again with you. Please come home.
Roll me a religion check. I'll give you advantage as well.
I rolled an 18.
18. Okay. So as you kneel down and pray to King, at King, praying that he hears your words of love and affection, your bar of sending that's on your ear begins to glow as the one that he has begins to glow as well. You look over and you see Chastaful that's been lying down next to him begin to glow and start to float up into the air. King, you've been sitting there alone by yourself, holding the unicorn Mielikki in the darkness. Eventually you hear echoing throughout the darkness the sounds of Duran's words, each of them coming by and getting louder and louder. First it was faint and echoey until it gets strengthens and you hear all of his words. It is at that point where the unicorn looks at you and puts its head down and begins to nuzzle you, and as it does it begins to glow. It glows and it's light. It glows and turns into a large ball of light that slowly starts to go into you and fuse into you. You just feel the warmth just of love, the warmth of home come upon you, and the darkness starts to fade away and shatter, and as you do so, your fever begins to flow down. The sweat begins to stop. Chastaful still glowing into the air. You're glowing and floating in the air. You begin to open up your eyes. Duran, with your head down, you begin to look up and hear the sound of King as you see that he slowly awakens. And King, you're awake. You see inside the room the Chastaful that's floating up there, as it's very bright light coming from it. And finally, when you lock eyes in and look at it, the light fades away and it starts to slowly dim, though it's still showing it's still glowing. And Chastaful has gone from its normal staff-like appearance to a white, shiny, pearl-like handle. And at the tip of it, instead of the blade that was there, the spear that was there before, it is now more like a unicorn's horn. And it's very technicolor and it changes every so often to a different shade.
Okay. I probably sort of noticed that, but I'm focused on Duran's words, and as I started to hear them in my dream, my head in my hands and in the unicorn sort of like perked up, and I thought to myself, I'm coming, and opening my eyes and seeing him above me, I see that I have returned, and I say, I am home with you. You are my home. And I say it in Elven.
King!
As he lands on me, I pull him into a hug, weakly lift my hands up and hold him. I'm okay. I'll be okay.
Duran just sobs into King's head.
I'll be strong for you. I'll be strong for you forever. You are my home. I'm sorry for worrying you. I know I must have been gone for a while.
Duran continues to ugly sob into the top of King's head.
I just keep holding him and pulling him closer, and I say, I'm sorry, you're right. We have much to discuss later, but now take solace and know I am alright.
And as you two embrace, and the Chastaful floats down onto the bed. Up top deck, Cal and Horatio, you are running up, and you see off into the distance. The shoreline becomes brighter and more sparkly, and it starts to glitter, so that you recognize as the Sapphire Shore. And you see a very large port town with with a harbor that you're coming up to, with several ships docked already. You see actually roll me a perception check, Cal.
Okay.
But you definitely see the city.
That is a 15 plus a 5. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, okay. You can see several tiny bits of people running around the dock, so you can see that it's busy. People are there. There's a lighthouse that you can see a little off the distance next to some rocks, and at that point the light does shine onto you, because it's Duskhaven, so it's not bright. It does shine onto you, and you see it kind of signaling you to move in a direction, pointing towards one of the open docks.
Horatio, let's head to that open dock over there. The lighthouse seems to be directing us.
Right. And he begins to move the ship into that direction. And the ship moves pretty quickly, so it doesn't take you long. But you, after about, say, another 20 minutes of you of Horatio staring the ship and you looking on, guiding him, with your perceptive eyes. Him, you also using Hootie, who can see off into the distance. You start to see you start to see the dock in clearer view, and start to see a lot of people wearing uniforms walking up there, almost guiding your ship as you start to pull the Ice Crown into the dock.
What kind of uniforms are they wearing? Do they look like guards, or are they just like dock workers?
They definitely look more official than dock workers.
Okay.
The city itself, as Horatio is guiding, I'm going to actually roll Horatio a check to see how well he can control this ship.
Can I help him if he starts to lose?
I'll do it at advantage. Okay, so he rolled a 17.
Okay.
So he's starts to back up the ship and move it around. All of you who are beneath decks feel the lurching of the ship as it turns and all that. You get to know Horatio is not a helmsman by trade, but nonetheless he does move the ship into docking position. Cal, immediately what you see is a vast, large harbor city. There are many buildings that goes beyond what you can see, since there's tons of large buildings, many other ships of different shapes and sizes, though you see there's a large crowd looking at this beautiful ship that clearly beats any other ship that's inside that dock, and with its beauty.
So much for subtlety, I think to myself.
And the ship begins to dock itself, and you see one of the gentlemen go, ahoy there! We didn't know anyone from Fia would be making their entrance here in Beach Bell. And a royal ship nonetheless?
Hail, yes, we weren't exactly expecting ourselves to dock here, but it seems that we'll be having our ship docked here for a little bit of time. Will that be a problem?
And he has papers in his hand, and he begins flipping over the clipboard that he has and goes, I'll have to get the harbor master in, I can't say no to a royal ship. Unless, you're not pirates, are you?
Absolutely not.
Well, a persuasion check.
It's a 13.
13.
Here's hoping.
Right, alright, I'm going to go get the harbor master. And he runs off, and you can tell he looks... Normally, when you go to a harbor, and you've been to different harbors, actually, you've been to Beach Bell throughout your journeys. You've been to a lot of places in Thelos. You know that Beach Bell is the main city for ship trade and things for Thelos. And Thelos, it's inside of the Shiverin. It has to depend on the river, and in the only city connecting the river to the ocean is Beach Bell. So it's more like a royal city almost.
Okay. It is the main hub.
Exactly, for sea trade.
Mm-hmm.
And you also, so you see that and most of the people here and the guards are more like guards wearing Thelosian armor, which is purple and black.
Okay.
And they're of all different types. There's some plate armor, heavy armor, but they all have that same kind of color formation. At this point, the rest of you downstairs, Minako, Duran, King, you all hear a commotion coming up and the sounds of like dinging bells and seagulls alerting you that you probably arrived at your destination.
So Minako kind of knocks on the door, saying, Duran, is King...
Come in, I'm alright.
Oh, thank Nyx. Thank Mielikki. King. We're probably needed upstairs.
I'm so sorry to make you worry. I'm okay.
It's been days. Duran hasn't left your side.
We did it, Minako.
I'll say, I couldn't ask for more. You guys spoiled me and treat me too good. Thank you for taking care of me. I'll be okay. We'll all be okay. I guess we've made it to Beach Bell. I hope there wasn't any other mishaps on the ocean.
No, just caring for you.
Sorry, I'm so sorry for making you worry.
Oh no, please, just keep resting. You must be exhausted.
I'm sore, but I think I'll be okay. I've been resting for many days. Come, let's get some fresh air. And I'll slowly try to stand up, get out of the bed.
Okay, you like to wobble a little bit. It's been a few days since you've been able to use it, and plus you've had a fever, so it's like you're now recovering.
We're still on a boat. Oh, I can't wait to get on dry land. Come on, yes, let's get some fresh air.
I will help you, please. Lean on me.
Could you carry me? And I'm gonna like lean into him to be like bride carried.
Duran will, yeah, if he needs to make a check, let me know.
No, you could just scoop him up. He is
all 90
tiny.
pounds for me.
Yeah, it's like what is it? Small, whatever you call it.
A small, yeah.
A small. But yeah, you can scoop him up, and you scoop him up indeed and carry him. As you notice, Chastaful floats up and starts floating by your side as well.
I'll look back and I'll say, "What's that? Wait a minute. No, is that Chastaful? Come to me." And I'll call it forth.
It flies towards you.
I'll inspect this iridescent mother of pearl like unicorn spiral spear, and I'll say out loud to it in front of everybody as if I'm speaking to the spear, and I'll say, "It seems as if you have grown with me as well."
It glows.
I'll grasp it firmly.
It glows in response, and it's not words but feeling, but it says, "Indeed we have," but not in words. You just
not in words. Yeah, like it just has like a warm, strong pulse of like recognition. Yeah, I get it.
But everyone else sees the boom, boom, boom as it lights up.
I think to myself, I can't wait to get to know you better. In like that, I like think and feel that back as I hold it, and I'll say, "Come on, Duran, let's get some fresh air."
Rest now. I will bring the sunlight of the day to you. Duran says in Elvish.
I'll nuzzle my head in his chest.
Okay. And you all walk upstairs to the top, and you also see the exterior of Beach Bell, this large city. It's not as big as Frostmoor, but it's bigger than Chilford. I mean, Chilford was pretty large. It was the warden town that Genju lived in his castle, but it's definitely as big, if not bigger, than that town. You see the same purple armored Thalosian guards walking about, and lots of people staring at your glorious ship that's there. At this point, Cal, you've been on a ship before from your journey, so you know how to place in the docking mechanisms. The docking, I forget the name of the actual thing, the plank.
The bulkhead.
Yes, and place it onto the dock, and you're helped by the harbormen as well, and you start to make your way down, entering the harbor. At this point, walking up to you, you see coming up, and people are parting ways for him, is a human male with light brown skin and black hair. He has light green eyes, and he stands about 6 feet tall. He's very muscular, wearing like an admiral jacket in the same color of the Thalosian armor that you see about you, and then he also has matching armored pants with as well. There is a falcon on his shoulder, and he's wearing an eye patch with a large kind of fedora captain hat on, and you could see one of his legs. You see is completely wooden. It has feet and it's a full working leg, but it's definitely wooden and a little creaky as he steps forward, and he goes, "All right, what do we have here? Someone unannounced from Fia?"
"Ah, you must be the harbor master."
"Aye, that I be."
"Well, we were sent on the Queen's order directly, with her very ship as you see behind me."
"Aye, that I do."
"We are making for the capital, and we would be most humbled to use your port while we are traveling to the capital and back."
"Well, you come here taking the Queen's ship, seems like, and you're here wishing to be harbored. Yet you look like," and he scans you up and down, "someone who's not quite part of the Queen's court."
I show my platinum badge. "We are here on the direct order of the Queen. There are problems in Shiverin, and we come to heed warning and aid. We are the Liberators. Surely you've heard of us."
Which platinum badge did you show? Sorry.
My Seekers Guild badge?
Oh, Electrum.
Oh, Electrum, sorry. Yep.
Okay, so you're showing your Seeker's badge.
Yeah.
Okay. He looks at this. He goes over and looks at the Seeker's badge and say, "Our Seekers, blasphemies group. Now, I really don't want you in my harbor. Alas, I know the Seekers are part of Queen Camilla's army, or whatever she has. But still, why would an Electrum Seeker have access to the Queen's personal ship, unless you be pirates from the sea and stole it?
How dare you? We have a letter addressed from her directly with her seal on it. And I'll have you know my father built this ship.
Oh, who be your father?
Gallilia.
And he looks at you and steps back a little bit, his wooden feet crackling a little bit. You be a liar, you're a tiefling. No way. Such an architect would be related with someone from Shiverin.
Would Gallilia Stelion give these to anybody? And I kind of pull my duster back a little bit, showing my revolvers.
He looks at it and you hear and he looks at it after gasping and stares it up and down, doesn't touch it, but just kind of looks back and forth and say, "Are these be the pistols of Gallilia, alright? I've heard the stories. Their craftsmanships allow them to use the power of the divine. So I've heard the tales."
The tales are correct. Kalemvor guides these pistols now.
He looks at you. "Let me see the Queen's seal."
It's on the ship. Let me get the rest of my party. There are 5 of us. And I go back to the ship to get everybody else. Come with me if you'd like.
"No, that'll be fine. I'll stay right here."
Understood. And I go back to the ship.
Okay. The rest of you make it on top of the ship and probably caught a good chunk of this conversation. Cal, stepping back, you see that they have finally arrived. Horatio standing right behind you, looking back and seeing the rest of the 3 come up as well.
King! You're awake!
Yes.
Prayers have been answered.
Many prayers have been answered.
Praise Kalemvor and Mielikki.
Thank you for watching me and helping aid me while I slumbered. I am better now.
I can only be thankful that Kalemvor turned you away at the gates of the underworld.
I appreciate your praise and thanks and pleads. I'll be okay. I'll look around and just see that we're clearly in public and say, have a lot to discuss later, but I'm okay.
Of course.
This fresh air and soil breathes new life into me.
Yes, and in order for us to make some headway here, the dockmaster is requiring our letter addressed to King Thelos with the seal that we need to deliver.
I have it in my pack, or it was in our belongings. But do not let him break that seal. A harbor master is no king.
Alright, let's go talk to him. Maybe he'll be more amiable to you. You always had a better way with words than me.
I'm awake, but I don't know if I'm my full potential, but I'll give it a try. I think that with the letter and with a proper explanation, he should have no problem allowing us to dock.
Well, he's not looking too kindly upon us as seekers. Just let me warn you.
How about people with money?
Well, I'm sure money is the universal language he can appreciate, but let's just make sure that it's understood that there's no ill will.
You know that is the best approach.
Then I will carry him over there now.
I can walk. Thank you so much for bringing me upstairs. The fresh air and the sunlight reinvigorates me.
Are you sure? Please, do not push yourself.
I can walk, but if you wish, you can hold my hand to keep me steady.
Trent happily holds his hand and interlaces his fingers with his.
And I will do the same immediately, as if I've done it my whole life. Feels natural and correct.
Okay. So as you hold hands and walk towards the edge of the ship where the dock is, the harbor master stands there, and he looks pretty, I wouldn't say annoyed, more just scowling. Looking over to you and said, "And who might you be?"
We are the envoys of Queen Camilla herself, our special unit, and seekers, as you've heard, which I know that reputation doesn't hold as much sway here, but at least you, as a high-ranking officer of the Thelosians, should appreciate other officers of rank. We are here on an official business, and if you wish to inspect our document and official seal, we will allow that. We will also pay the fees of harboring our ship here, and hopefully, as I look around, does it look like they're at max capacity? No, they're not.
There's Many. From what you can see, there's probably about there's already like 15 ships here, which is a large harbor, and there's still more space, so they're not at max.
Yeah. So as I look around, and I'll say, and seeing as your harbor is so large and glorious, perhaps we can come to an agreement that we both come to it. I don't know. So we come to an agreement.
Roll a. And are you handing over or showing the seal as well?
Did he come onto the boat? I don't want to do it like just straight in public. I want to like do it in a sort of like if he came onto our boat, or if we're like on the dock outside of our boat.
Yes, that's where you are,
on
the dock right outside.
But it's not like it's not like high traffic, right?
No.
There was a crowd because of the ship, but
they're like in the back. So you know how like there's a dock and there's a pier.
The pier. So he's on the pier and the people are on the dock. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, knowing that it's not like high foot traffic and no one's gonna like run over and try and snatch it or do anything shady. I'll hand it to him and I'll say, "This is a seal that only the king can break." And I'll like a little sternly, but I'll hand that over to him. But the rest of it, I meant in a cordial fashion.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion check. You are still a little worse for wear and recovering, so you don't get the advantage you normally would.
Understood. Not my best. 14.
14. Okay. You're a little huffing and puffing. You're sweating a little bit. Well, the sweat is drying, but you still look worn.
And I'll say to him, "I'm sorry if I seem a little worse for wear. The sea is not my main space. I'm more of a landlubber, you see." Trying to like crack a sailor joke.
Yeah, alright. And he looks over at the seal, puts it in his hand. "Indeed, this is the Queen seal, and for the king. As the harbour master of Beach Bell, and one of the captains from the Unity Knights, I'll accept this, but remember, I'm watching you."
Dungeon Master, how long have we been talking to this guy? For like a whole minute?
Yeah. I would say it's, of course, for a minute. Definitely.
At this point, my Know Your Enemy ability would trigger. Do the differences of stats seem similar between me and this, and the captain here as they were to Duran versus Deja?
Be more specific, or within the confines of your ability.
How much stronger am I physically? How much higher is my strength than his strength?
Okay, strength. It seems like you have about equal strength.
Okay, this isn't Deja.
Oh.
Okay, so I'll say, "I appreciate your acceptance, Captain." Did he offer his name?
No, he did. No names have been.
I'll say, I'll appreciate your acceptance, Captain. My friends call me King, and as you know, we are part of the Liberators. If there is a form of payment, please let us know. We want to make sure that everything is proper and taken care of. And we won't be in your hair for that much longer. As you know, our business is in Thelos. So it would be much obliged if you could watch our ship as we journey to the capital and back.
Alright, that'd be true. Well, I'm not going to call you king, that's for sure. So I only say king to one man, and that's King Terminus. So your friends can call you what they like. Depending on how long you want to stay here in the harbor, I have to, since you're on official business with the crown, it will only cost you the normal rate of, well, how long do you plan on staying?
I'm not quite sure. What's the... you see, this is my first time in Thelos. How long does it take a caravan from Beach Bell to Thelos?
Oh, are you looking for a caravan to Thelos? Well, if you want official passage, and if you say you are, I was going to reach out to the capital myself and see if we can garner a transport if the king is interested. It may take some time, but if you're going to go on your own, I can't allow that or suggest that. No more caravans and passes have been going through between Beach Bell and the arcane capital due to the strange mishaps that's been appearing in the woods.
What sort of strange mishaps?
Well, after a few days ago, seems that the demons have changed here on the roads in Thelos. They become more organized and have developed new abilities to take our dead and bring them to life. The roads have been very dangerous, so we cancel all caravans and passage. If you leave, you're on your own.
Seems like something you could use a little help with.
Well, of course we would need help with, but we have the Unity Knights are on it, so don't you worry your little head.
Are the Unity Knights divine?
You're not from here, are you?
I apologize for my ignorance, sir.
Well, I can tell with a... What are you, an elf? Half-elf?
I am a half-elf.
Haven't seen your kind here for... No, I've never seen your kind here in my lifetime, but I've heard. So you must be one of them travelers from the Void, right?
I am from the highest plane.
Must explain why you're seekers. Or... Anyway, don't get involved. This is official Unity Knight business, and Unity Knights are quite divine. We serve the... we live for, die for, and serve the Trias. And their powers invigorate us throughout our king.
Are you a Unity Knight?
Can't you tell from... never mind, he says that, putting his hand, like moving his hands up and down.
King, is Mielikki not part of the...
Well, let's not worry about that right now.
He looks over. Mielikki? He gives you a little, like, winces his eyes a little bit, but doesn't seem to pay any more mind. So how long are you staying?
Probably a month. We have no idea how long it will take us to get to the capital. We probably have a week's worth of business there, and then who knows how long it will take us to get back. So I feel like it is safe, but we might need to leave a retainer in case it's longer. If we overpay, we can get our payment back, correct?
Yeah, you can.
There you go. So to not cause any problems with you, I think it is best in our best effort to ensure that payment is rendered in full ahead of time for complete and utter care of our ship.
Well, a ship from looking like this to take care of and keep it clean for a month.
So you need to clean it. Just make sure it's not vandaled or burgled. Keep it safe in the harbor.
So you need guards, because we know with something like this, as it pops, might get garner attention you don't want. So that cost will be about 800 gold.
Roll an insight to see if he's shysting us.
Sure.
Yes, can I also roll insight?
Go right ahead.
Sounds fair to me, with that 6.
Minako will also chew an insight, having just been sitting there the whole time.
Sure.
Oh, an 8. That is not helpful.
And Duran?
Duran rolled a 14.
14. You all seem to trust him. He doesn't seem like he's being shysty or anything like that.
Oh, okay, seems like a good deal to me.
You have no idea, like, none of you are sea people. So
Yeah.
You have no idea what normally call it.
That sounds good to me, Cal. You're the only one that has real experience. Does that seem like a fair price for harboring? I'm not sure what the rates are in Fia.
For a ship such as this, I would argue that it's fair.
Then we shall pay it.
Yeah.
Go get the payment that Queen Camilla left on the ship.
Okay. So, so who's going to... Because she didn't leave you any extra money. I mean, there could be money on the ship, but...
I just said that because I wanted to make face in front of the...
Oh.
And I said that completely just because I wanted to make face in front of the captain. I didn't want to actually give him money right there. I'll say, we'll collect our payment. Do we bring it directly to you? And is there an office?
Yeah, my office is right there. And he points to a large building towards the left. And it's looks official. A triangular-shaped building with about 3 stories.
And sir, what was your name, Captain?
Tybalt. Merrick Tybalt.
Merrick Tybalt. Captain Merrick Tybalt. It was a pleasure, and I appreciate your patience and thorough vetting of us. There have been some shady business happenings in Duskhaven, and appreciate that people are on guard. We will render payment in your office shortly, and I'll tug Duran's hand to turn to go back onto the ship.
Alright. My men will come up and secure your ship. And then he goes ahead, starts yelling to his men who are back closer towards the dock. And they all salute, run up, and begin doing normal ship duties.
Duran's kind of digging through this pack with his other free hand. King, I actually think I have, he said 800?
Yes, he said 800.
I think I have it in here. Do you want me to turn around and just give it to him?
I guess as we're he started to walk away, I think we should take it to the office and get official paperwork. We are adventurers after all. We should try and get reimbursed if Thea still stands in the future. I'm going crazy. I shouldn't be thinking of such things.
With you back, there's no way we will lose.
Thank you. I open up my pouch and like a dead cough comes out of my coin pouch, and there's literally 2 gold pieces in my money pouch. I have no money.
Alright. So, what do you liberators? The day is still early. The harbor master, Merrick Tybalt, has walked into his office. You are free to do what you wish.
What was with that guy anyway? He seemed, I don't know, hostile?
Well, we knew that they didn't like the people from Frostmoor and Thelos, so we should have expected a hostile.
I may not have helped the situation.
Cal, if you think that this is a fair price, then we should pay.
For a month? Yeah.
I don't know how long it will take us. Think of, sometimes we travel and we think it's going to take us a week and it takes us a day, and sometimes we think it's going to take us a day and it takes us a week. I don't know. I was just trying to be...
He said we could get our money back, so if we overpay, we overpay, and we'll get the difference later. But this is quite the ship, and maintaining it will take some labor.
If that's fair, then that's fair.
Plus, everything is a little bit more expensive in Thelos.
I'll pull out a diamond, and I say, I don't want to use this. This was supposed to be a sacrifice to the gods, should one of us fall. I have
Here.
no other payment.
I take my hand and I curl his fingers back over the diamond. Between Doran and myself, I'm sure we can cover the 800. I myself have 400.
Oh, of course. And Duran spills out of his bag, pouring out in front of him 1,083 gold pieces.
Duran!
So, how about we go get our paperwork? Horatio, I'm sure you would want to inspect this paperwork to make sure everything is legally binding and all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. But maybe Merrick was also trying to add a little surcharge himself, so we'll talk to the people at his office and make sure that it was 800 and that we're taken care of for the month.
I'm sure they won't be any more helpful.
All right. Well then, let us gather our things and make haste. I fear for Queen Camilla.
At least we know she's alive.
Do we? How do you know she's alive? That brings joy to my heart.
Oh, while you were out, I used magic. I just checked. I tried to communicate, but I didn't.
I'll rush up and grab her hands and I'll say, that makes me so happy. Our cause is not lost yet. We'll save your home. Minako, we'll save your home.
I mean, we have to try.
All right.
She kind of leans into his hand a little bit and then pulls him into a hug.
I'll embrace the hug too. Okay, let's not spend all day dawdling. Plus, I can't wait to step on some ground.
I'm excited to see what a Thelosian kitchen looks like.
Alright, so you all gather together and begin to walk back. Get your money together and start to get your belongings. Horatio does the same, and you begin to walk down the staircase, right down the plank, onto the dock, heading away towards the large coastal city of Beach Bell. Immediately walking onto the plank, you can feel the arcane energy of the protection of the crystal that you know is probably further into the center of the city, its barrier protecting with the symphony. We will take a break, so we will place in the bookmark and return to our chapter later. Hey there, Dungeon Delvers. Thank you for listening. I would like to take this time to thank all of the wonderful people who helped bring Descent into the Void, a tale of D20s to life. Starting with Frank Freire, who designed our character art, Kyle Misko, who collaborated on the main, mystical, and night theme songs, Manuel Lapuca, who collaborated on our battle and adventuring theme song, Jan Rosa for the use of their original soundtracks, David Chappell for the use of his End of Silence, A World of Color soundtrack, MFY for the use of their Dragon Castle Symphony for Duran's theme song, and Danny.Phantom.01 for creating the Liberator's full art. You can find more about these wonderful artists on our website, ataleofd20s.com. Now click on to part 2 and let's continue our epic tale.